I got to do 2 jobs and I got to do this because your father left me. She kept breathing that to him, curse him out, destroy him. And that's why so many men will take that aggravation and give it to everybody else that they see. And I would say, that, when a father abuses you, that's one thing. But when a mother abuses a son, it's a whole nother matter. Just like with when a little girl is abused by his mom, by her mom, that's one thing. But when the father abuses the daughter, that's another issue. So when the opposite sex is abusing the child, it takes a whole nother level. I'm not saying it negates the same sex that's abusing the child, but when the father abuses the daughter or the mother abuses the son, it takes a whole nother level. A lot of people don't understand that because, again, that's the relationship. You are drawn to your mother as a son. You are drawn to the father as a son. You're drawn to the mother. So that abuse is very damaging, and it affects so many people more than they know.
Oh, absolutely, more than they know. And so I had a great conversation on my other channel, Dr. L's podcast, with Kendall L. Williams. And we talked about what the work that she does is she deals with individuals who are estranged from their children, in particular, sons who are estranged from their mothers, because she is estranged from her son. And her son is 29 years old, and she has eliminated all contact between the two. So we had a good conversation. It's a touchy subject, but I tried to get into what happened and why. And essentially what I could glean from that conversation is it's because of the divorce. And because when the child was 8, that's when his mother and father got divorced. She then, not long after that, moved from Florida to Atlanta, away from her father. They had a very close, tight relationship, and that seemed to have triggered something.
He wrecked his life. She wrecked his social point and turned him out. So not only did he not have his father, he didn't even have his friends anymore. So that's why she checked out on him. On her.
Right. So, and his anger grew not only towards her, but to everyone else, the other sibling, to the stepfather, because she got remarried to the stepfather, his own grandmother. So it was a good conversation. If anybody out there, go to my other channel, Dr. L's podcast. You can watch it. It's one of the live videos over there. I found that video with the little kid here. I think there's music. I think there's music playing in the background, so I won't be able to play that. But I do want people to look at the body language of the children here. So. Oh, geez. I apologize. Hold on. All right. Some people, when you guys shoot your videos here, use the highest resolution here. All right. Let me get this off the screen here. I apologize. I got to look at it from another.
We got your point, though. We got your point, sir.
I can find it somewhere else here. Hold on a second here. All right. So that's that. So men, have you there is resources. Well, let me ask you this: why do you think that men are so reluctant to call the police when and if they are?
They feel that this is not a manly thing to do, to call the police on my wife. Some of them feel guilty because they did something to tick the wife off. So that's why those are top 2 reasons why a lot of men do not call. But again, the bottom line is, back to your point about the young lady with her son, is people got to let go of grudges. Grudges are just dangerous, like crazy, because here you are holding on to what someone did to you. And the more you hold on to it, the more it'll become an anchor and it will sink you. I mean, it will literally sink you. And that's why you got to be so careful not to allow that spirit within your mindset, because it will stay there and it will destroy you as long as you let it stay there. Every single time. Every single time. I had to.
Do you think?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I had to forgive my father. I had to forgive my mother. for how their marriage rained down on how they raised me and my sister. I had to forgive them. I had to actually release that, because as long as, listen, people, when you don't release that trauma, the trauma will show up again every single time. When you don't release that trauma and say, you know what, I've got to let it go. I got to forgive. Get the help, but I got to forgive. I have to heal from this, because if you don't heal from this, you carry that grudge, you're going to hurt people. Maybe you ever heard it? I know you have. Hurt people hurt people. And so many people stay in that trauma mix. That's why they go through multiple marriages. That's why they go through multiple relationships. Why? Because the initial, I told somebody today or whatever, I said, your first relationship is not with your wife or girlfriend, boyfriend. Your first relationship is with your parents. That is your very first relationship. And whatever they put in you or whatever you saw is exactly what you're going to play out later on, every single time. Every single time.
Able to. What are your thoughts about embarrassment? I think that a lot of men would just be embarrassed to call on. It seemed emasculated. It seemed like, I should be able to handle this, right?
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, it is embarrassing for your wife to hit you. I was in a toxic relationship, and you know what? It is embarrassing, but it's like, do I move? Do I call, or do I get out? And for me, I got out. Oh, here you go.
All right, we'll see if we can play this here. So it might be some music here. So, but if I got to delete it, then we'll just play it. But just watch the little girl's body language. She's obviously on the right here.
Okay. Oh, wow. Oh, Lord. Wow. Get in his face. Who's her mama?
So I'm not sure if you could hear. Could you hear that? I don't know if you could.
A little bit.
Okay. So what was going on there was obviously they were having an argument about I'm not a baby, but you're wearing a diaper. And listen, that's all the brother had to say. Listen, you're wearing a diaper. I don't know what to tell you, little girl, but babies wear diapers, and you got one on. But I wanted to point out that the mother or someone was seemingly holding the camera, and it sounded like a little baby was next to them, a little infant. And you could hear her snicker every once in a while. And when she touched him 2 times at least,
stop it.
Never corrected it.
Right.
Got in his face as you acknowledged.
Right.
So if you don't stop the little girls from doing, and he remained calm, and I guarantee you, if he would have did anything, whoa, don't touch your little sister, don't touch her, don't do that, right?
Yeah. Again, it's people making the changes that. What I want that done to me. People, if you get nothing out of our show today, it's very simple. What I want to be embarrassed like that in public. No one's going to say, oh yeah, embarrass me in public like that. No one's going to say that. And that's exactly what that woman did to Christian. She embarrassed him. She put her hands on him and acted as if, hey, in other words, you should take this. You're a man. No. The bottom line is, and you know this, Dr. L, women attempt suicide more than men, but men commit suicide more than women. Why? Because they have all of this trauma and stress and abuse that have not been dealt with. And so it builds, and this depression just overwhelms men so much that they feel, hey, I might as well cap myself off, which is definitely not an option at all.
So here is a hotline for any brothers out there who are dealing with this, and this is called Myths around men experiencing abuse.
Wow.
And so it's, talking about this, right? It's got 4 different myths around men experiencing abuse and why they're just myths. Myth number 1: the world tells us that men can't be victims of abuse. One in 10 men have experienced rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner. I guarantee it's higher than that. It's particularly for stalking. And yet we also hear from our male contacts that they are not believed or taken seriously when reporting abuse to family members, friends, or law enforcement. On average, 24 people per minute are victims of rape, physical violence, or stalking by an intimate partner. So violence can and does happen to men. There's another guy, T. Hassan Johnson. He talks about, when you factor in boys who at the age of 13 or so start sleeping with the 24 and 25-year-old, babysitters and the little girl down the street, he's counting that. And even the FBI, when they look at that stuff, that counts as abuse.
Any form of intimacy as a child is abuse. That does include when your 6-year-old cousin touches you at 6 years old. That's still sexual abuse. Why? Because that little boy or little girl learned it from somewhere. There's no child that wakes up and says, I want to be a pedophile. There's not. That happened to them. And so what happened is that I cannot tell you how many people who come to me for counseling, and when I press the issue, because God, thank God for discernment, I said, something happened to you. No, it didn't happen. Then after really taking my time, they said, you know what? My cousin did touch me when I was young.
Mm.
And even though they were both cousins, both the same age, that's still abuse.
Mm.
That is still that's not playing. So again, what the world says, oh, you playing house. That's what it's called back in the day. You playing house, or you playing doctor and nurse. That's still abuse, because that child learned it from somewhere who was an adult.
Very good. Myth number 2: the media tells us men are just the perpetrators of violence, but never the victims. Contribution of media to the normalization and perpetuation of domestic violence shows that domestic violence has become persuasive in society. It is partly because of the media exposure that we have become desensitized and even accustomed to it. According to this study, chronic and repeated exposure to domestic violence is believed to cause changes in affective, cognitive, and behavioral processes. So what happens when this is repeated exposure only portrays men as predators and not the victims? You get the idea.
Right. They're always the aggressor, is always the man. Now, again, I'm old school. I do believe the man's the leader. All right. But sometimes these women come in a relationship with trauma themselves. The bottom line is this: what is dating for? Dating is when I got to find out what issues you have, what issues I have. So I tell men, when you go out on a date, and it gets serious, you know what? Now, number one, if I cannot show you my my thorns or show you what's wrong with me, that's a sign I'm the person for you, because you got to be naked. Once I talk about marital sex, I like being naked. Praise the Lord, hallelujah. But the nakedness also works mentally. I'm sorry, Lawrence. I can't help myself. I can't. I just can't. Nakedness is not just physically; it's mentally. So if I'm afraid the person I'm dating is going to weaponize what I'm about to say to them, that's a sign that's not your future spouse, period. Because if you're going to weaponize my weakest moment, if you're going to weaponize my most vulnerable time where I almost committed suicide, or my mother had sex with me. If you're going to weaponize that, or I get the feeling you are, then I got to back away and not be a part of the relationship. Now, how do you know that, Dr. Brantley? Thanks for asking. You give them little tidbits. And then when the argument comes up, if they use that little tidbit, deuces. Because if you're going to bring up my pain, and I gave you a little piece of my pain, and you bring it up, you're weaponizing it. So that tells me the more I give you, the more you're going to weaponize it and come after me. So that's a very, very telltale sign that, you know what, this is not the person I need to marry or go further with.
I'm not going to disagree with anything you said there. It's
Oh, thank you very
absolutely,
much, sir. Thank you, Dr.
absolutely correct, brother. Absolutely correct. Here, myth